How we doing today, neighbors? This is Ian with eTrailer here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a 2-year review of the Timbren front suspension enhancement system. And this is going to be on our friend John, our videographer here, his vehicle. So we are going to take a look at how this has held up over the last couple years, and really if this is going to be that one-time solution for your suspension upgrades. Now we are going to be taking the wheel off in order to be able to see exactly what's going on with the ones that have been on for a couple years and compare it here to our brand new one. See how that rubber's held up, and also check on the bracketing and all the hardware along with it to see if there's any abnormal corrosion or wear that we can find. Now that we've got that wheel and tire out of the way, let's go ahead and drop down into that wheel well and take a look at how it's held up over the 2 years. And here, after 2 years, we can see the rubber's held up really, really well. Still appears to be tight, so we have no loose play from the hardware. Even with the amount of rust that we build up here in the Midwest, this one seems to be taking rather well. Now, lucky for us, John was willing to do an interview here, and I've got a couple questions just about as far as the longevity for his front suspension upgrades that he's got going on. So, to start off, John, I did want to say thank you so much for taking a moment to sit with me and kind of have this interview and go over how you feel about the Super Springs in general. My first question is going to be, were there any adverse conditions that you took your vehicle out in that were notable that you could definitely tell the difference with those Super Springs on there?
Yeah, no problem. Glad I could talk about these. Whenever it comes to some of the places that we've been in everywhere from like hotter deserty areas, the Colorados where you got a lot of dust and debris going up there, and odd cattywampus land that you're going over, and then even over into like Wisconsin where you've got a lot of ice and snow and all that kind of stuff kicking up. And whenever it comes to kind of just helping with that little bit of front suspension, it usually does a really good job. And I think that especially whenever we're in situations where we want to go, especially like on the farm, where we want to go out into a field or go over a couple hills, I think that it just makes that little small amount of difference where it gives us peace of mind.
Absolutely. Wonderful. And then as far as towing, have these helped out with any larger loads that you may have had to take, or maybe you've had everything packed down with cargo and really noticed that stability control increase in the front of your vehicle at all?
A little bit. I have this paired with a pair of sumo springs, and I think those do a bulk of the work whenever it comes to keeping everything easier whenever I'm towing, but very much so whenever it comes to any kind of suspension I can get, especially with turning. I think it's definitely helped with the little bit of front suspension stuff that it needs to do that any of the towing may affect. I'm always of the mindset, any extra suspension you can get will help you in the long run.
Amen. Amen. So I guess last question I've got for you is going to be, after 2 years of having these on, have you noticed any degradation in performance out of them? Does it feel like they're more spongy now that they're broken in, or are you still getting the same kind of performance as you were when we first put them on?
I would say basically the exact same performance. There may be some sponginess. I know when we took them off earlier to kind of look in at them, they almost looked like there was a tad bit of warping, but nothing that I ever feel whenever I'm in there. And anything that's like cosmetically there, I think is negligible, and I think it still helps me every single time I drive down my gravel driveway. They're still going to be helping me there, or in any other situation I may run into.
That's awesome. Well, again, I really appreciate your time with me. We're going to get back to the rest of the shoots we've got for the day, but really appreciate you taking a moment.
Oh, heck yeah.
Thanks, John. I appreciate you sticking through all this here, neighbors. I really hope this video was helpful in deciding what suspension upgrade you may need on your vehicle, and if these Timbrens are going to be a great one-time fit for you, do make sure you use that fit guide just like we've talked about. And if you do want to see any of the install videos for these, please go check those out as well. I wouldn't say either the front or rear options from Timbren are going to be that bad, and we'd be happy to help walk you through them if you do choose these. Otherwise, my name's Ian with eTrailer, and I appreciate you watching.